Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Just testing out the volume. If you're here for the last video, you know we didn't have any sound, so we're back for round take two. Today, super exciting topic. If you're a nurse practitioner, entrepreneur, aesthetic NP, or derm NP, and you're like me, you're trying to build a business that's profitable, then listen up. Because today we're going to talk about my favorite topic, and I think it's your favorite topic too: how to create an offer that sells itself. Too many of us struggle to get clients because we focus on what we're doing instead of what our client actually wants, the transformation they're going to make by working with us. So let's fix that. Today, I'm going to break it down into 3 simple steps. Step 1, know your target audience. I want you to list 100 things about your ideal client. I know, yes, I said 100. What do they struggle with? What are their goals? What do they spend their time doing online? The more you know, the better you can speak to them directly. Step 2, identify their pain points. I know you've heard this is becoming a pain point because you hear me talk about this every week because it's super important to making that conversion. Here's the thing. Our audience will tell us exactly what we need if we let them. We have to listen to their frustrations. I think our greatest clinical skill is listening, to be honest, and we need to translate that into our business practices. We need to hear their frustrations, their biggest challenges, and what's stopping them from getting to those goals. And the step 3, the most important one, is the transformation. This is everything. People don't buy products or services, they buy the transformation. What's going to change in their life because they work with us? Let's focus on that, and then we'll start attracting clients who are ready to invest. If you're new here, make sure you take the time to like, comment, and subscribe. This is your chance to tell me what transformation you provide or that you've experienced or would like to make. I'd love to hear it. If you're here, please let me know in the comments. Because I just spent a whole 40 minutes talking. I'm just going to tune in and make sure you all can hear me. I see it moving. And so I just want to make sure we check the volume on that. So thank you for your patience. Okay, testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah. Okay, great. We're good. Okay, so if you don't know, I'm Dr. Kimberly Madison. I'm the founder of Mahogany Dermatology, Nursing Education and Research, where we are committed to increasing access to dermatology education for nurses and nurse practitioners with an emphasis on skin of color, business acumen, and digital fluency. If you come around every week, you'll find more and more about what that actually means for you. Someone's back. If you're the same person who was here last time, let me know that you can hear me. It means a lot. So I've been coming on YouTube for over a year now, going live. I go live. And to make it easy for you, because I'm an entrepreneur, just like you, I have a full life, I have a full-time job, and I'm building a business on the side that I want to help me create the life I work so hard for, right? I understand the struggle. Time and capital are limited. And so while I love to make these videos, I don't always know when I'm going to be able to do it. But if you're subscribed, you'll be notified immediately when I go live, and I can answer your questions directly. You don't have to wait for me to respond to your email or your DM or for my calendar to open up, which right now is pretty booked. But for consistency's sake, I release these videos every Sunday at 12:15 a.m. Central Time, so that my night shifters can be the first to get something and not the last. I'd love to be charting with you. That's how I used to pass the night, and it helped a lot. And so for consistency, it comes up every Sunday. But if you happen to be here, you'll be ahead of everyone else, because once we're done recording, this will be hidden until I'm ready for it to go live. So every week, we have a topic like we do today. You see, we're going to be talking about the transformation our clients need to make. But we also have an ongoing conversation addressing your questions. That's what this platform has become. And my business has become answering your questions, addressing your pain points. And so we'll do the topic, and then we'll keep our ongoing conversation at the end for those of you who stick around. We always start with health and wellness, because I'm in the belief that if you are in the business of taking care of other people, you have to be in the business of taking care of yourself. So we'll start with the devotional and scripture. I'm just going to check the volume one more time, even though I see it moving. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do our devotional, do our prayer, and then we'll get into our topic, and then we'll round out the end with talking about some La Roche, right, as a consumer, but also we're going to evaluate their business structure a little bit, which is something we're going to do more and more here, because I want us to be better NP entrepreneur, business owners, investors. So we need to be able to understand what business is, how to analyze them to make them better. That's the focus. We want to analyze them to make them better because then we become better, right? We want to identify businesses who benefit from us being in business. That's how we keep each other in business. That's the secret that's not a secret. It's out in plain daylight, but we just haven't paid enough attention to it. So let's get into our devotional. And I love it because it's an example of what we're going to talk about today. There's a couple things in here that directly are going to come into our conversation. So this is the Holy Bible app. It's a free app. And yeah, we always start with spirituality. I do that because, I can tell you all day long, hey, you should make sure you take time out for yourself. You should make sure you invest in your mental health, physical health, spiritual health, financial health, emotional health. I can tell you that, or I can also do it with you. So hopefully during these videos, you put it on your calendar and remind yourself to schedule that appointment, take out the time to do this, take out the time to do that. That's why I'm doing it. Not because I think you care about what I believe or what I'm doing for my own health, but I hope that it serves as an example. So here we go. And I'm on my walking pad as I'm talking to you. It's not running. I need to test out the sound. I'm not going to do that today, but I would love to do this the sound when I'm going live. I could really get my steps in. And I am dressed up because it's this week was my 12-year anniversary as a nurse. The same week I started my residency program years ago. And in the neuro ICU, I think I'd taken NCLEX that January, had graduated that December. I've been a 2-time December graduate and, or 3. I have to think about that one. I can't remember anymore. But anyway, so yeah, happy anniversary to me. And actually my mentee, who I've talked about before, she just started her residency this last week too. So it's funny how life turns out that way. And she's in the ICU. Well, she's in the NICU. Still critical care. Okay, here we go. This one's titled The Mission of the Church. After Jesus' death and resurrection, he spent 40 days on earth ministering to people and preparing his disciples for life without him. Jesus planned on leaving earth and ascending to heaven, but before doing so, he gave his disciples a mission found in Matthew chapter 28, verses 19 through 20. We often call this mission the Great Commission. The Great Commission begins with getting up and going to places where people need to hear about the good news of Jesus. This doesn't mean that you have to leave your country. There are people in your own neighborhood and workplace that need to hear the hope of Jesus. The ultimate goal of the Great Commission is to make followers of Jesus. So as we go about sharing the good news of Jesus with people, we're to show people how Jesus changed our lives, the transformation transformed our lives, and invite them to discover Jesus for themselves. Jesus also instructs us to baptize new believers. Baptism is a symbol of someone's incorporation into the family of God. It is their public display of their new faith in Jesus. Baptism is such an important part of Christian life that Jesus made sure to include it in our mission. It can be easy to think that making disciples and baptizing believers is the responsibility of the church pastors and ministry leaders. While those are things certainly are part of every church's mission, Jesus intended for every believer to make disciples. So take a moment to think about someone in your life who helped you grow spiritually. Ask God to bring to mind someone you can help and disciple. Then allow God to give you the courage. A lot of this journey is about courage to share the hope of Jesus with those around you. And we have a little prayer. God, I am your disciple. Please teach me how to live a life that reflects who you are. As I grow in my faith, provide me with a community where we can teach and support one another. Help us to live out Jesus' model for living well. In Jesus' name, amen. Like I say, you don't have to believe what I believe, but that's what I believe, and that's what I share. Okay, let's get into it. I love this topic. You know what I love, what nursing taught me? So nursing has a lot of flexibility, right? Work 3 days a week, make a lot of great money. As a traveler, contracts, in between every contract would take a nice little break, didn't have to request PTO, didn't have to wait for someone else to grant me freedom, right? But what I learned really fast is that even though I had all that, if my friends and family didn't have that same flexibility, it wasn't the same, right? And so I don't want to go to the mountain and be there alone. I want you to come with me. And so, yeah, I'm all about sharing what I'm learning as I'm learning it. And so I want to make a lot of money. I spent a lot of money to get here. I want you to make a lot of money too, so that we can go live our lives together. I'm all about community, like in our devotional. Remember the key things in here, because we're going to bring this up again. So let's go. Step number 1, know your target audience. This came from, so everyone's going to tell you to know your target audience, but this actual action that I want you to take, this activity, is to list out 100 things about your target audience. I know 100 is a lot, but think about how confident you're going to be about who you're speaking to once you do this list. Give them a name, right? Where do they live? Where are they from? What kind of work do they do? What's their faith? Where do they go online? Where do they go into the community? How much do they spend? What are their political beliefs? What do they wear? What do they eat? Who do they hang out with? Who don't they hang out with? Um, so example, I recently was going to the grocery store and I saw there were some Girl Scouts trying to sell cookies. So $6 box of cookies, that's their high value offer. High value offer is like something that you offer, a service or good that's typically the most expensive thing you can offer. And real quick tip, a lot of us, myself included, start with low ticket offers, right? And then we work our way up to high ticket offers. We also, because this is all about how you're losing money, right? The other thing is, let's say you have a high ticket offer. Let's say you're having an event and it's $1,000 ticket, and someone says, "Oh, it's too much money," So then what do? We start lowering the price. Just because you lower the price, first of all, you're lowering the value. Number one, and every time you lower the price, that doesn't guarantee that more people will sign up. It guarantees that more people will find what you have to offer less valuable. When people don't buy your offer, it's not the price that needs to change. It's your communication and your messaging, because there is, this is the difference between scarcity and abundance mindset. There is an audience, there is a target who will buy your high ticket offer. You have to believe that. You have to believe that. It has to start there. Your belief. If you don't believe it, no one's going to believe it. So you list 100 things about your target. We have Girl Scouts selling $6 box of cookies. Let me tell you something about me. I was a Girl Scout. 10 out of 10 times a Girl Scout asks me for something, I'm going to support her. Okay? I'm going to support her. I'm supporting her, right? So she comes up to me. She wants to sell me her cookies. I say no. Now, what does she need to know about me? Well, first of all, I'm part of a community of people who just finished fasting for 40 days, right? Just like our devotional. That's why I was so excited when I saw that one. So she needs to know that, right? She's in a community where there's quite a bit of Black people, not even just Black people, right? She's in a community where there's a lot of faith-based people. Just knowing the calendar could be enough, knowing that this is a time where some people are fasting. That's number one reason they might have said no. If you knew 100 things about your target, you would know that. There might be ingredients in the cookies that I don't consume, right? I'm vegan. There's things I don't eat. There's gluten-free people who don't eat gluten. Another reason someone might say no. They're not saying no to her. They're saying no to her offer. I already told you from the get-go, if there's a Girl Scout who pitches me, I'm going to support her. I might not buy the cookies, but I'm willing to support the Girl Scout. So, I said no. I went in the store, and then I came right back, and I said, hey, and I gave her what I'm about to tell you. Hey, you have your cookies, right? You have your laser, you have your Botox, you have your membership, your high ticket offer. I'm not willing. I don't want that at this time, right? Oh, other reasons someone might say no. They don't have any cash. They're in a rush. So you need to be prepared to have another offer. I don't change my high ticket offer. That high ticket offer, that price isn't changing. But I have another offer for that. Because if I know that client, if I've listed out 100 things, I know before someone's ready to purchase laser, which is a big number for someone, right? You say, oh, $2,000, $3,000, you may lose them as soon as you finish talking. What do you need to do to make this person someone who is willing to purchase a $2,000, $3,000 offer, right? Because it's a journey. So once you have identified 100 things about them, right? Oh, well, maybe once the fasting's over, they would be willing to buy the cookies. Or maybe if I have another offer, they'll still be willing to support me, because what are the cookies doing for the Girl Scout? Nothing. The money is what's going to help the Girl Scout and that troop, right? So if someone's able to give an offer for donation, again, they might object that offer. Why? They don't have any cash. That's a big one. That's a main one. That would be me, right? So, hey, so what are you going to do? You're gonna find out who your target is. List 100 things about them. You're gonna identify some of their pain points. And pain point doesn't necessarily have to mean a hurt or a struggle, right? Because they're fasting, they're vegan, they're gluten-free, they don't have cash. So now you're gonna say, those are their objections to my offer. That's why they would say no. What can I do to to address that objection? What can I do even though they're not ready to purchase laser? So automatically you can engage your client, right? Because if they didn't keep walking, now that's a warm lead. You have their attention. This is just like on social media. They liked, comment, subscribe, they shared your content as opposed to someone who did nothing. You want to take advantage of that person who's now engaging you, who's now talking to you. Hey, can I just ask, is it something about the cookies is it something about, what could I have done to have made you say yes? Oh, well, I'm fasting right now. Oh, when's your fast over? Oh, it's over in a week. Oh, we'll be here next week. Oh, great. I'll see you then. I'll be happy to buy some cookies then. Or you know what? I'm fasting, or I don't eat milk, or I don't eat dairy products. But you know what? I just forgot. The girl next door, she loves Thin Mints. You know what? How much did you say those cookies were? Let me get 2 boxes. Or oh, I don't have any cash. Automatically, just like the people at the farmers market. As soon as I say I don't have any cash, they say, "Oh, there's the ATM. You got to be ready. You got to know what you can't be ready if you don't know what the objections are. You don't know what the objections are if you haven't identified your client, and you don't know the pain points if you don't know your client." So that's how that Girl Scout could have got some money. High ticket offer doesn't change. It's always going to be $6 a cookie, right? But she had another offer, and if she engages me, she learns more about me. This way, the next time she gets a no or a rejection, she's already ready to address that with the next client. That next client might be me, might be somebody else, right? So I love that one. And now that I've done this video twice, I can't remember. Oh, so yeah. So number 2, identify their pain points. So this is the tip, right? And I did it too. Only until recently did I just make this change. A lot of times when we're putting our packaging together, our communication, whether it's email, social media, our website, whatever it is, we focus on the pleasure, right? Oh, I have this laser. It's going to give you radiant skin, decrease your hyperpigmentation, reduce your wrinkles. That's pleasure. We focus on the pleasure, right? You come to my event, you're going to meet this world-renowned speaker. You're going to get access to free gift cards. We're going to give you a goodie bag. Pleasure. But what Myron Golden taught, which I talked about him before recently, he's a millionaire who just hit a million subscribers on YouTube. So he just went over this in his video this week. And he teaches business strategies from the Bible. He said, instead of focusing on moving people towards pleasure, move them away from pain. I'm telling you, all these business people, they all say the same thing. And so at first, when you do business, it can seem overwhelming, just like when we learn diagnoses, right? It's a really big book, a lot of diagnoses. But once you get into practice, you realize, oh, yes, there are a lot of diagnoses. There's certainly some zebras and some rare conditions that can walk in the door any day and time. But most of the time, we spend most of our time treating the same, 50 diagnoses every day, right? Whether you work in a clinic or in a specialty practice, you usually see the same things over and over again. And that's the same in business. So he said, focus on moving people away from pain. You can look at the title of this video, which I don't even remember, The Pricing Mistake. So the first title I had, oh, I'm so glad. The first title I had was The Transformation, how to create an offer that sells itself, right? Because I say, identify, hey, NP entrepreneurs have trouble making sales. So I say, I'm going to help you make a sale. That was my original title that ChatGPT gave me. But I went back to ChatGPT and I said, hey, I want you to apply Myron Golden's advice. Instead of focusing on a title that moves people towards pleasure, focus on a title that moves people away from pain. It's really, really subtle, but that's what we talk about when we're talking about the art and science of something, the art and science of nursing, the art and science of sales and business. And so in this title, I put instead the pricing mistake, the most common mistakes, the problem you have, the thing you're not doing. You'll see those titles and how to fix it, right? I'm going to help you how to fix it. I'm going to tell you what you can do to get from where you are to where you want to be, okay? And so that was their pain points, moving away from pain, not towards pleasure. And you can use ChatGPT. You can email me. I'll give you that prompt. But really, my advice when it comes to ChatGPT, talk to it like you would talk to me. Say, hey, look, I'm trying to make sales. I watched some videos and they said I need to stop focusing on moving people towards pleasure and away from pain. Help me do that. This is what I'm offering. This is my target audience. These are their pain points. These are their objections. You help me create solutions to their objections based on what I told you I'm offering. Now I need titles to grab their attention, because when they're using their phone, email, or social media, they only see a few words before they decide if they're going to click or not. What can those few words be that help them see that I'm moving them away from pain, right? And this helps, a great segue to our step 3, our last point, the transformation. This is everything, right? I was in the same boat as you. I've spent, let's say you spend 2 weeks putting together a workbook, right? I want you to know I spent 2 weeks making this workbook just for you. I stayed up late. I didn't get any sleep because I did this for you. You're going to find 50 pages. It's color, it's high gloss. It has a calendar in here, make it easy for you. You can even look at some of the stuff I have running now. You're going to see me use that language. But what I've learned is it doesn't matter. They don't care. Let's say we talk about an event too, right? Okay, let's say we're talking about an event, and you're going to say, look, we're going to be at this beautiful event. We're going to have 20 world renowned speakers, and they all went to Harvard and Yale. They have their own practice. They've been in magazines, they've been on Forbes, had been interviewed. They know so and so and so and so and so and so. Every time you keep promoting that, it only creates a divide even further from me and them. Because what's my experience going to be? First of all, a lot of speakers, a lot of people who are on stage are actually introverts. They have social anxiety. They're not very engaging. They engage with you because you're one person, for one, and they trust you. They like you, and they agree to speak. That's what they agreed to. They didn't agree to be friends with everyone. So what's my experience? My experience is I'm paying for a plane ticket, a hotel. I'm sitting in a cold room with a bunch of people I don't know. That's my experience, right? And with a speaker who I may or may not ever talk to. And even if I talk to them once, they're probably not going to remember me. Even if they take my picture, they're probably never going to see it. They took pictures of everyone here. Why would I come? What's going to happen from the time I get there to the time I leave? How is attending this event, sitting in this cold room, paying for this flight, booking this hotel, going to help me get from where I am to where I want to be? Why am I showing up? Just because my employer said I need to have, or my board of nursing said I need to have a continuing education, there's 100 events. Why would I come to your event? How are you specifically going to get me from where I am to where I want to be? The more you know that, the better your messaging is, the better your relationship, and the better your conversion rate. Because you can have 10,000 people following you, but if only 100 of them purchase what you have to offer, who cares if you have 10,000 people, right? You need to convert them from being consumers to being clients, and it helps to know the transformation. So because we focus on what we did, we look at what we did when we come up with our pricing. So if this took me 2 weeks, I'm like, you know what? I can only charge $100 for this. It's really, the template was on Canva. It only took 2 weeks. I mean, I just can't see anyone spending more than $100 on this, because you're focused on you. Again, you're focused on what you're doing. You have to focus on the client. And this is how you're going to start that conversation, right? Whether it's directly or in your messaging, in your social media, and when you give your call to actions and you ask people to leave comments, you're going to say, um, you know, let's say if they come to you because you have a med spa, what would it mean to you to have clear skin? They're going to tell you what it would mean to them. How long have you been dealing with this? Oh, wow. What would it mean for you to have clear skin? How would that change your life? Oh man, it would increase my confidence. I would be willing to take pictures again and new headshots because I'm trying to start a business. And I've been told I need to show my face more, but I just don't like the way I look right now. I can't imagine putting my face on social media where people can blow it up. So it would mean everything to me. How much would you be willing to pay for that kind of experience? Oh my gosh, I'd be willing to pay just about anything. I've tried everything already, and I'd be willing to try anything at this point, because I really have to get out of that toxic job that I'm in. And the only solution is really to start my own business. Now they've told you what their problem is, how long they've been dealing with it, what they would be willing to pay for it. They're telling you that. And that's how you're going to price your offer. It's based on the transformation your client wants to have and is willing to pay. It's not based on you, what you know, whether you've been practicing or had your business for 1 year or 10 years, whether it cost you $1,000 to obtain or whether you got it for free. They don't care. They only care about the transformation. That's what they're paying for. That's what they're signing up for. That's what they're believing you for. And it's your job to sell that confidence, give them that courage, and then you can actually have some high ticket offers because it's about the transformation and people are willing to pay for that, which you relate to as an entrepreneur because time and capital are limited. I relate to that, right? I have already tried everything I know, right? Now it's time for me to get in rooms where I'm not the smartest person. It's time to be around people who have 10x what I've done, right? I'm willing to pay for that so that I can get from where I am to where I want to be. And that's why I'm in the biggest launch ever right now, right? I recognize that they have something that can help me make that transformation. Does it matter who Jasmine is? It really doesn't matter. Does it matter what she's done? It really doesn't matter. Does it matter how long it took her and her team to put it together? It really doesn't matter. What she told me was that she can help me get from where I am to where I want to be, which is executing, and to do it in 8 weeks. That's all I needed to hear. And she was able to get my money for that because it's all about the transformation. When you focus on your client's transformation, you can make higher ticket offers and convert that person into a client. So that's the main message for today. Those are our 3 messages. And our mic is still on, so I think you can still hear me. And so we talked about 3 things. Know your target audience. List 100 things. Know them inside and out. No one can come and tell you don't know who you're talking to after you've done that. It's going to help you with your pictures, your images on your website, your social media, your messaging, your emails, your offers. It's going to help you identify their pain points. And then what would be the objections to those pain points? There's always someone can always find a reason to say no, but it's not because it's too much. That right there, that's never going to be one of the pain points, is because you're pricing it too much. It's going to be about your messaging. Now you've identified their pain points, you've identified objections to your offer, you've addressed those objections through what you're willing to offer. You're going to always under-promise and oversell. Undersell, overpromise. Under-promise, oversell, right? You're going to say you're going to do one thing, but you're going to do a little bit more than that once they become your client. And then you're going to focus on the transformation. And a lot of that comes from knowing who your client is and listening, because if you let people talk long enough, they're going to tell you. So I hope you got something out of that. I hope you got something valuable. I'm going to keep talking about that as long as I keep seeing it. And so one of the things I can tell, look, my clinician friends, even I love words, right? But I have to, even when I write the blog, I'm writing the blog because it's what I love. But if I want you to read it, I have to think about what's going to get your attention. We always use really nice, high quality pictures. I get to the point, right? Economy of words for some topics. And I try to highlight using headlines, subtitles, bold, bullet points, emojis. That helps people kind of get what you're trying to say. There shouldn't be, if it's a blog, that's different, but we're talking about your marketing, your emails, your social media captions. It should be quickly to the point. Assume you only have 3 to 6 seconds to get get their attention and keep it. Whether it's an email, social media, subject line. I think when I recorded this last time, I told you my tip, right? I tried to give you tips. Use the website subjectline.com. It will help you get better subject line for your email because most people are accessing whatever you're doing online digitally on their phone. And so we only see a little bit before we click. That's why the emoji is helpful at having that pain point be right there. So it doesn't just get swiped through. I told you I joined a church recently and we have new members class, and the person who emailed us about the new members class used a personal email, someone I don't know, right? So my first instinct is to delete it. And in the subject line, it didn't have the church. So first of all, it's not an email from the church, right? It didn't have the church's name in the subject line at the beginning. So I was just about to delete it. Now you're assuming because you put together a beautiful package, a beautiful event, that we're thinking about it like you are. We're not thinking about it like you are. You're competing with everything else we have going on. And so they have a name for the new members class. Let's call it Garden of Eden, right? So they think everybody knows Garden of Eden because it's a wonderful name. We came up with it. I'm not thinking about Garden of Eden. I'm a new member. I'm only thinking about church, Baptist church, right? Which you don't have anywhere in the messaging. I almost deleted it. So always make sure you're not trying to make your client do the hard work, the hard lifting. Make it easy for people to work with you, to partner with you. And so what they could do is put church first, then some semicolon, and then new members class. Yeah, more people are going to open that up, right? When you do your messaging, especially on social media, you want it to be in profile, so it takes more swipes before someone. Thank you, thank you. More swipes before you're gone. In the video, or in the video is always going to win. It's always going to win. In the video, right away, the first 3 seconds, you want to get their attention. Who you are, what you do, where you work. Nobody cares until the end. You can either put it at the end, you can use text, put your name on the screen, you can put it in the caption. Everybody knows to go to the caption. They know to go to your link in bio. They know all of that. So in the beginning of your messaging, don't waste time talking about yourself. Focus on the client and the transformation that you're going to help them make every single time. The amount of time it takes them to do this, way longer than it takes me to make a 90-second video. Much, much longer. And I'm going to get more engagement, more reach, and people are going to build that know, like, trust factor, which we're going to talk about next week. Again, always have to tell your client what to do. Call to action. There's nothing for me to do with this. Literally nothing. I would love to know how much money they spent on this. One thing they could have done, blown up their faces and just had this on the bottom, because on the back, they could have all this other stuff, right? And on the back, they should have a QR code so I can click on it. They can upsell me. There's a chance to give me a coupon or to register for the next event. Even though they gave me some free products, they can still make a sale. I can give it to someone else, right? When I click on the QR code, they can use their data analytics to see that click rate. Once they do the click rate, they can engage me again with something else they have to offer. They lost out on an opportunity not only to know me more, that list of 100 things, but also to continue to sell their services and offers. So yeah, this week when you're creating your content, use your face. It's always going to sell more than static photos, right? Use your website for static photos and things like that. But that's all we have, folks. We'll be back. We'll do another video. We'll do another batch content afternoon here. But yeah, you can go in the description box. You can see any resources that I mentioned today, how you can register for the Diversity in Dermatology Conference. There's still time to join us in Louisville at the Louisville Marriott downtown. We'll be there for 4 days. You can check out the agenda. We have a wonderful list of topics for you to help you get from where you are, which is not knowing very much, to where you want to be, to feeling confident about dermatology and understanding what role. Yeah, you can email me. Yeah, you can message me on the Mahogany Dermatology blog. You can email me directly from there. And in fact, those of you who are interested in learning 10 different repeatable revenue streams that every aesthetic and derm MP should know, you can email me. I'll send you a free copy of that right now. That's one of the things we're creating in the biggest launch ever, which is an 8-week intensive business coaching program with Jasmine Starr. I'm creating a community to help us because we have a full life, a full-time job, and we're trying to build a business. And we have limited time and limited capital. And instead of telling you all these other things you need to go do and learn, we're just going to create systems and templates and structure and community to help you build a business that can be successful, identify a client who needs your services, identify pricing that's going to help you get incentivized for the transformation you're helping your clients get through. And we're going to help you execute instead of sitting in analysis paralysis, which is what a lot of us do because it's overwhelming. There's a lot to do when you're trying to run a business and have a full-time life and a full-time job. But yeah, you can send me an email directly to the Mahogany Dermatology blog. You can email me from there. and join the community, DMV Dermatology and PPA or Derm and Ps of Atlanta. We have our big summer meetup we're planning right now. You'll hear more about that soon. Right there in DMV, right there in DC. So excited about that. I met a new friend today, by the way. She'll be coming from Delaware, Paris, I think. Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here and commenting. This is what I love. I can't wait till one day we have office hours and there's a whole group of you all here and we can answer your questions directly. That's my favorite thing. But yeah, let me get out of here and I'll be back shortly for the next episode. But thank you all for watching and I'll see you next time.